Right, welcome back to New Day, and we're looking at the topical stories that made headlines on the various fronts. Of course, the Independence Day is dominating headlines, but there were certain statements that were made that stood out. For instance, the president says that Ghana's failures and success is ours. I mean, it hinges on us. How do you interpret that? Also, the investment in the youth. And we'll also talk about the statement issued by the New Patriotic Party's presidential candidate, Nana Addo. Yes, he's urging Ghana on things that, yes, there's hope, but again, Ghana is in crisis. And to help us do the discussion, we have the national chairman, Greater Accra chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Addo here. I like the way he was like, I know you're not confused, part of you. I know that. It's just good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And also we have the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wogon, Mr. Tremate.
30% of
Ejakun. Good morning to you and welcome to the show. Great. After the studio, where would you be going? How are you going to spend your Independence Day?
Well, thank you for asking. Thank you, and good morning to viewers.
Sure.
After this, I will go change and join the students of Volta Hall.
Okay.
They have a cleanup, so I'll spend the morning with them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, I'm doing my work as an MP.
I know.
I take my work seriously.
Sure. Mr. Addo, are you?
Well, tomorrow is my birthday, so I'm going to relax and make use of tomorrow.
Nice. And yesterday was actually the First Lady's birthday, and what a birthday to have. We hope she had fun, and wish her the very best as well. But quickly to I want to start with Mr. Ejakun. The president talks about, the failures and successes, of the country is ours, and indeed it's ours because we're the government, right? How would you interpret such a statement from the president yesterday?
Well, thank you for having me again, and let me say a proper good morning to viewers. I must admit that yesterday, at the period the president was delivering his speech, I was out of coverage area.
Okay.
I was traveling and I didn't have opportunity to listen to him. But having said this, I must say that I listened to a bit of the commentary.
Sure.
And to say that we are in it together or otherwise is a truism. It's an absolute truism. I am a Ghanaian.
Sure.
My country is Ghana. My nationality, I will be referred to as a Ghanaian. I am a Ghanaian. And I could decide to go live anywhere, but I would always be referred to as a Ghanaian, people who go to live in America are referred to as Ghanaians, Americans of Ghanaian descent, and all of this. So essentially, it is true that we are in this together. We are in a ship. Something happens to the ship, we are all in the sinking ship. Okay. So he stated a matter of fact. But lifting the veil, going beyond it, it means that if the onus is placed on you to manage the affairs of this country, then you must clearly understand that the lives of 27 million people have been committed to you. So your actions, your inactions, your commissions, your omissions must be very well judged, because anything you do affects 27 million people. If you manage it properly, we will all live well. If you mismanage as it is happening now, then the consequences are there for all of us to see.
Okay, so if I should ask you not to chronicle events of last 59 years, but say in the last year, what are some of the successes that you have seen? What would it be?
For me, the fact that we can remain as a country together is fine.
Okay.
All right. But if you ask me about success, I am sure that if you give opportunity to my very good friend, he's my brother, we grew up in Downswan together. Okay. He will tell you, oh, we are constructing the interchange. We are doing Ridge Hospital. They are consequential issues.
Sure.
The main frame of any nation is the economy. Okay. And the economy is not what I say about it or what Ade says about it. The economy has matrices. Worldwide, they use various measuring rods to determine the economy. I am submitting that there is not a single matrix. There's not a single measurement that is working well in this country. Economic measurement. Not a single one.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, how can I raise my collar and say it's good? Absolutely nothing to say.
All right.
I mean, I am saying again, we will talk about the interchange. We can talk about Rich Hospital. I want to say with all the force I can command that they are consequential.
All right then. Mr. Adekoko, I'll come to you. I mean, we'll stay on that, but I'll come to you too. I mean, President said a number of things, and I think one of the things that also stood out yesterday about, how individuals, have used their own, whether it's their talents, have excelled in different fields, but have brought some sort of national laurels, national sentiment, really, to their own individual excellence. And that ties, if you could tie that into some of the, perhaps, successes that we have chalked. But what would you say has been the success story of Ghana in the last year?
Well, let me say good morning to your viewers and to my brother here and yourself. You see, we have to look at this holistically. We are talking about 59 years, and this year, 6 March of 2016, is a milestone. From 1957 up to now, this year is a milestone because we've made progress, tremendous progress over the years. Because some of us were born in Gold Coast, so we can chronicle the various stages of development in Ghana, both economic, political, right? So the achievements of individuals that you mentioned, sure, right, epitomizes what Ghana is capable of doing, given that we are all in the same boat. As the president said, we are all one. We've got the attitudes, right, that will propel us forward. It is sometimes our attitude that properly shapes our destiny, right? So for me, if you want to, my brother will say that, I'm going to mention the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, Rich Hospital, right? They are not consequential. They are part of the moving forward of this country, because we built Ghana in blocks. Other governments have come and they've built, and we have come and we've added, and that makes the beauty. That shapes what we call Ghana. A few years back, when we come to Accra, we used to have the airport being an aerodrome. It was an aerodrome. You may just come and it was used by the British to move their troops around. But this aerodrome has changed. So it cannot be consequential. Whoever did that airport, changed the face of the airport. It's not consequential. It's a building block that makes the nation state called Ghana. You see, so these are the kind of that we all have to be proud of. But because of our political dispensation.
But I wanted to limit it. I actually limited my question to say the last year, because I'm sure next year we're going to mark our 60 years.
Exactly.
And we'll have to probably, chronicle from the beginning the phases that we've gone through, all of them.
When we were 50 years and my brothers were in power, they celebrated it. So it was another milestone that was celebrated. So you should celebrate every year, right? I believe that the negatives should be few, and the positives should rather encourage us in future generations.
That's what I'm asking. So what are the positive stories that you can tell of Ghana, say, in the last 12 months?
In the last 12 months, this country has been a state at peace with itself.
Sure.
And that is very fundamental, right? As we are sitting here, when we get out there, we are not going to pull knives on each other, right? So that alone, for us to be able to, other countries over the world are suffering. Look at Syria, look at Lebanon, look at, they wish their country was. So if for nothing at all, I don't want to go and talk about the bridges and that kind of thing that my brother will allude to.
Sure.
But if for nothing at all, the peace that we are enjoying today, right, is one of the greatest achievements that we have we have been able to chalk over so many years.
Okay.
That this country is a unitary state. We are all together, whatever our differences, we are able to laugh in the morning or cry in the evening.
Okay, and what would be the challenge, admittedly? What do you think has been the most challenging thing we've had to be confronted with in the last year?
Yeah, we have a lot of challenges in this country. I mean, we have economic challenges. Nobody run away from that.
Sure.
We have economic challenges. That is why, as a people, we are trying very hard to ensure that we overcome those challenges. But those challenges didn't start only from yesterday.
Sure.
They are things that have been piling on over the years. And you see, you don't want us to go back to history. But then, to move forward, you have to go back to history. You know, we started a very, very good path when Kwame Nkrumah became president. For within 5 years, when about 300 or so factories here producing goods and services that we will need, that we became an import substitution economy. Well, anything you want in this country, anything you want for yourself, it was made in Ghana. Over the years, we collapsed that system. Various governments coming and selling the various factories. I mean,
particularly the PNDs.
no, so my brother,
it's a statement of fact.
My brother,
it's a statement.
My brother,
It is a statement.
You started it.
You have your moments.
Mr.
Jaco, you have your moments. It's Mr. Adeko Kestem. Mr. Adeko, go ahead.
When Nkrumah was overthrown, what happened? They started destroying all his legacy. You started it. Busiest guy, Progress Party. You said, I don't want us to go there. The moment we start going there, the conversation will become partisan.
So for you, in the last year, you think the economy is the biggest? For some, maybe energy would be one of the...
It's part of it. Economy, I mean...
Okay, so under the economy, you have...
Yes, we have various sectors. We have had challenges. And thanks be to God, at least this government has been able to manage it. We manage it. For instance, the power...
At what cost?
Well, you manage... Look, you see, when Obama came to power in the U.S., there was a serious bailout. The auto industry, financial crunch, the Wall Street collapse.
Yes.
I mean, people of millions were even were committing suicide. Okay. Any economic recovery comes with cost. You can't run away from it. It's like you've got headache, and then you say you will take a paracetamol. My brother is a pharmacist here. You will take paracetamol. Your headache will not go.
Okay.
But then you have to go through that pain, and then taking the paracetamol will cure the headache for you. Naturally. Any recovery, you have to go through crisis, you have to go through pain. But at the end of the day, now this morning, we are able to come here and we are able to have our shares ironed. But the energy crisis did not start only 3, 4, 5 years ago. Like I said earlier, we go through our history.
All right. Thank you.
It's a cumulative effect of inaction. Action in actions that we ourselves brought upon ourselves. That is why the president is saying that we are all in it.
Okay. So, Mr. Jaco, the whole nationalism, patriotism, took center stage in Prez Mahama's speech, and talks about the fact that, you know, when you travel, you pride yourself as a Ghanaian. And when you hear Ghanaian has done something, he mentioned the likes of late Madam Theodosia Oko, you know, designer of national flag, and you're proud. You talk about it. You mentioned the young man who recently won the Spirit Award, Abraham Atta. Mentioned Kofi Annan being the first black UN General Secretary. That those are the things we sort of associate with. Where do you think the Ghanaian is? And for some people, it's not enough to use just the Independence Day to talk about these things. It's got to be a deliberate process, deliberate policies at really injecting that nationalism in Ghanaians' mind. Where do you think we are in terms of being nationalistic about things?
Well, I think that we have a challenge now.
How so?
When it comes to nationalism and patriotism. I have really never agreed too much with President Rawlings.
Okay, how so?
But there is something that he has always said, which I think is an absolute truism. When he burst on the stage in 1979, in 81 or 82, somewhere there. And even after he has been president for 19 years and he has gone, he still talks about it. For me, this is the paradox. He talks about the fact that many of the things we do just tears down the moral fabric of this society. And I think that it has gone on for so long that today, really and truly, I am not too sure that the man in the street, the reasonable man, is that patriotic.
What is missing?
I think that it is a give and take situation. Look, I am not extremely fond of America. I am not, but you will have to admit that they have done well with that nation. When you go to America, every home, every flat, you will find them fly the flag. They do so because they know that when it is crunch, the man in the street of New York, the man in the street of Richmond, Indiana, knows that when it is crunch, the whole state apparatus will come behind him. If something happens here, or like there was a terrorist attack in Bamako or in Ouagadougou, the whole state apparatus of America would go out there and seek and protect every American there. In this country, we know of situations where in the Liberian War has time to be corrected. The Ghanaians ran into the Ghana embassy and they were told to leave. So the man leaves and he's lucky and he's carried by a ship that the Americans brought to evacuate their people, and he finds himself in America. And you think that when he goes back there, he would think highly of this country? No. It is a give and take situation. And for me, it is all about leadership. If the leaders, particularly the political leaders, were doing the things that will inure to the benefit of the man in the street, then I think that is how life is. The man in the street will reciprocate. Today, we have all been left as orphans, and it is extremely difficult.
I'm told that at the time, your former chairman, Jacob Echebilamte, was actually in Liberia and he was brought to Ghana.
He was very lucky. I know of several that didn't make it.
Okay.
You understand?
So what?
I am only using that as an example.
Sure.
If you take care of your own will reciprocate and take care of you.
Okay.
Today, I think that it is going away. It is getting lost. All of us are becoming extremely selfish. All of us seek our own, and we don't seek anything for this nation because the understanding is that this nation is not providing anything for us.
Ask not what your country will do for you.
I can completely agree. But it is contextual. It is only within a certain context. Otherwise, if it is an absolute truism, then let us not have the nation state Ghana. Why do I pay taxes? Why do I wake up at... Look, even this I am doing. It's a service to this country. I mean, I didn't live 30 minutes. You think today is a holiday? For his age, he could sleep and take a little rest.
I know.
But he's here to do this because all of it are building blocks for this nation. You understand?
So I mean, you speak of a situation. It's not all lost. So that's what I'm asking you.
No.
I'm asking you what needs to change. Is it the mindset? Is it the political will?
Like my flag bearer said, this is a nation in crisis.
We're coming to that's our next
This
topic.
is a nation in a huge crisis.
I'm talking in terms of nationalism.
Oh, yeah. But you see, I tell you, you cannot divorce all of these things, they one flows into another.
Okay, all right then. All right. Thank you. Mr. Adekoka, I mean, where is this, you know, for some, it's not just enough to mention them. It's not enough for the president, you know, on Independence Day to wear his nice, what's it called, the Batakari or Fugu. It's not enough to just mention in the State of the Nation address and say, I'm wearing a made in Ghana a shoe, and they're like, it's got to be deliberate. The Ghanaian needs to feel,
when he came, he didn't wear that shoe again.
the Ghanaian needs to feel the pride with, you know, carrying it. But there seems to be a certain disconnect. There seems to be a certain lack of faith in even things that are made here. How do we get around it?
Bridget, you know, I'm a captive of history.
Okay.
That is my problem.
Okay.
You see, because I always want to refer back to when we were growing up,
Sure.
we were going to school.
Sure.
Right? The culture on the campus itself, right? People coming from different places without actually asking them where are they coming from, the background.
Okay.
Brought some kind of bond.
Cohesion.
You understand, right? So when they say Chobwe, you see all of us, what? Following.
Follow. Sure.
When they say Ghana, you see all of us waving the flag.
Sure.
Along the line, like my brother said, our individual and also the way our politics have taken over, it becomes so partisan. So that, for instance, if the Black Stars are playing and maybe MPP is in government, right?
During our time, they won it.
You know, so you wish that they don't do well so that you can use that to castigate them.
Sure.
And that has chipped away those building blocks that was putting us together over the years. You see, you go to the schools. How many times in the morning do they ask the children to sing the national anthem? No. No. I mean, there were certain things that we were doing before that we stopped doing.
Sure.
And now with the advent of this social media and that kind of thing, we've gone to the extreme that if today they say sanitation day, you see somebody sitting by his house or her house, he will see people clean the gutter and he's holding his arms.
So
we've lost it. Our political dispensation now we've lost it.
Yeah, but we still cannot throw our hands in the air and say there's no.
Yeah, that's why.
So what will it take then? A political will?
The
same political will?
That is why we are
the people who need to just, wake up and say, look, this is our country. And
that is why we should start a national debate about how are we going to revive patriotism in this country. And what Kennedy says is truism. Think not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. We pay taxes, my brother. We do pay taxes, but that's a truism, right? And it has worked for America over the years that we are talking about. That is why they feel, look, America, we must fight for it. We must fight for our survival. They feel they are always under threat. So by being under threat, they must fight for their survival. Sure. So that word that Kennedy used so many years ago is as true as today.
Okay, all right. All right, then. So we're moving on now to
If I can just add
quick
something.
One, yes.
I can completely agree with him on this point about, you see, again, from my own political persuasion, I cannot be a great fan of Kwame Nkrumah. He sent my father into exile, but I am willing to admit, that he did some.
Growth.
I am willing to admit that he did some real good things for this country, and one of them was the modernization.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Today,
yes,
for some strange reason, we prefer a demodernization situation. Look, when I went to Prempeh College, there was Bawachi,
you don't know where
there was Gadesi. But it never, you would not even think that they came from some other part of this country.
Exactly.
It was in that place that I got to know that there are places called Mentukwa, Sankore, Sekwa. It didn't matter at all.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
It didn't matter at all. You see, today, we are pushing away from a situation like this. Our Ghanaianness is even going away. Our ethnicity is taking over.
Exactly.
And we have lost the idea of the republic. Recently something happened. one chief executive was asked to go home, and then I heard that his chiefs want to commiserate with him. I mean, I think that I am saying we have lost the idea of the republic.
Okay, all right then. That moves us into, I mean, still along the same conversation, but but moving us to the New Patriotic Party's presidential candidate for the 2016 elections, Nana Addo. He issued a statement, and I'll read just about 2 paragraphs of that statement, and of course, extending felicitations to Ghanaians. And it says, on this momentous occasion, it is critical that we take a stock of what we have done with our freedom and where we are now as a nation. And to also just live and appreciate the liberties of our colonial masters and whatnot. But I want to go on this point. It says it is unfortunate, however, that 59 years after gaining our independence, Ghana, a country blessed with an abundance of human and natural resources, is in a crisis, evidenced in widespread despondency brought about by severe hardships, rising cost of living, high levels of youth unemployment, collapsed businesses, unprecedented strikes, demonstrations, and increasing poverty. Surely this is not the vision of Ghana our ancestors had hoped for. Mr. Adikoko, I want to pick your initial thought on the picture painted by by Nana Akufo-Addo that indeed currently despondency, hard economic hardships, unemployment rate is what is characterized, and so that situation itself creates a certain hopelessness.
No, Bridget, this country is not in crisis at all. This country is not in crisis. We use certain words that it gives us that despondency that you are talking about. Sure. We politicians use certain words that create that despondency. Look, Accra is thriving. You just travel outside this country and go and pitch yourself out there in the diaspora, and you find out how many of our brothers and sisters who want to come back to this country. Because they've reached a state that, look, they said they want to come back home. Sure. And because they've left for so long, when they come, they find it difficult to find their way. Exactly. This country is, let me put it inverted words, right? A heaven. Look, we have challenges. No one single country in the world today is an utopia or has got everything going for it. But it's the way we solve our problems. And I just told you that as we sit here now, you look back from when we had independence and what we are today. Then my brother will say, infrastructure is every government does infrastructure.
President Mahama said this when he was candidate Mahama.
But you see,
when he was vice president,
you see, look.
I am just quoting Vice President Mahama.
No. I mean, I never heard him say that.
Well,
yes, I never heard him say that.
This is not selective amnesia.
Selective amnesia. That's right.
I never heard him say that. I'm talking about. Let's just take building a hospital.
Okay.
There's something called the multiplier effect. Starting that project will ensure that you are going to employ people.
Temporarily.
But you are putting money in their way. When you go out over the world, there are temporary jobs and there are jobs that can take you to the time you die. But that is life. These fingers are not equal. Exactly. So you create a situation where the food vendor, all manner of works will spring up. And that is creating jobs, right? Unfortunately for us now, our country now, everybody, when he's talking about job, he's talking about white-collar job. Everybody wants to go and work in the ministry. But this present age, or present time, you have a situation with, look, as you are sitting here, you can download all the newspaper headlines on you. So you need a vendor now. It is only somebody who probably won't. I've even stopped buying newspaper because when I go on my computer in the morning, I can pick up, you see. And so you have to find new ways of making sure this vendor is employed.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. So when we are saying that this country is in crisis, we are creating an enabling environment that will enable other the jigsaw to be put in place.
Okay, but that, you know, despondency is brought about because of the issue that he raises here, and the things that Nana Addo is saying here, a lot of people could relate to it. For instance, he says, you know, rising cost of living,
Very good.
high levels of youth unemployment. The U.S. has been able to put in their system about 242,000 jobs. You can see it. You can see where it is. But here, we don't even have a data. So if government says that they have 300,000 jobs, people doubt it because they're asking, where is it?
Well, that is why I keep telling them I'm a captive of history.
Go on.
Because when we started building this nation state,
Sure.
we put certain things in place that will enable us to be where the so-called white man is. We truncated it. And over the years, we've sat down, we have done piecemeal things.
Sure.
Right? I told you we were in an import substitution economy. Now what do? Right? We import everything and we are not creating the jobs. We are not putting up the factory because it is cheaper for people to go and import things in the country and the things that they bring here. Look, the government says we are going to tax these things so that I believe that
to discourage them.
I believe that those monies that we take should then be used up to set up factories. What is happening? They are going on strike. The guys in Aboso kind, they bring second-hand tires, they bring second-hand engine, and that keeps killing us. Why don't we tax them and then consciously make effort that we can also bring what an engine factory into this country? These are the kind of things that we started, and if we had continued, we will not be sitting here today to say that there's despondency and there's unemployment, because you are an economy that is import oriented than anything. So all of us agree that there's a paradigm shift. You asked me earlier on, why are people not buying made in Ghana goods? Because our taste alone, the taste that we have acquired over the years. If I bring you Chalewati, look, somebody started this tie and die. We made a song to kill it. We made a song to kill it. Addo Yankee. We made a song to kill it. Chalewati, people went Chalewati when the revolution started. People went Chalewati to work, and they say, "Boy, hey, how come?" So we cannot come and sit here today and say that President Mahama's government has created unemployment, the despondency. No, it's the politician who wants a vote who come and say that. But when you look at what's on the ground, there are a lot of evidence.
So Nana Addo is saying this for
political expediency. I mean, look, we are in the time that all of us, my brother, when he goes to stand at voter, is this voter?
No,
where are you going today? Where are you going today?
Legon.
Voter hall today.
Voter
He will
hall,
tell them now he's going to bring an aeroplane to them.
I will say that. I never say that.
You understand? It's the time for all of us to be talking that kind of, but let's be serious.
Okay.
There's a lot of evidence.
Mr. Jacko,
you see, when you listen to somebody like Adekoka, the NDC and they never cease to amaze me. This country is 59 years. Out of that 59 years, Adekoka and his group has had 27 years of that 59 years, and they are still talking about why we haven't done this, why we haven't done this. Nkrumah was president or prime minister and president from 57 to 66. My party had opportunity for 27 months with Buzia and for 8 years with Kufuor. So if we are going to share proportionally, then you people should take the biggest blame for where Ghana is today. Proportionally.
But he's blaming the ultimate.
No, I am not even playing the blame game now.
Sure.
But I am saying that when you listen to him, and something was translated, and this, and we should have become, we should have changed something. You had your party, and the founder of your party had 11 years of no contest. There was no restriction on him. What did we do with it?
But one would say, at that time there was discipline in the system. You couldn't go and
let me. I don't think you were born, so you don't know.
I wasn't born then. But
don't talk about things you don't know. But let me go back.
Oh, but things we've read about. So you don't believe in history?
Oh yes. Oh, what history did you read? Quote the book. But let me go back. You see, I wish you could read what you said, what you read.
To read it.
Statement of fact. Today, are the things Nana Addo talking about, are they true or they are not true? You see, I will premise by saying that this country shouldn't be where we are. Nana Addo says something which for me is fundamental. He says that God did not put us on this land to be poor.
We are not poor. No, we are
God
not poor.
did not put us in this land.
We are not poor.
Look, I believe that in Ghana, and I may be exaggerating, but I am a very proud Ghanaian. I don't believe that there's any country, the Americans call their country
the greatest country.
No, the land of God is an American. Yeah. I think God is a Ghanaian more than anybody, anything else. If you talk about the human capital we have in this country, very wealthy. Go to Fiji, go to Papua New Guinea, go anywhere under the sun. You will find Ghanaian professional people doing very high-placed jobs. So if you talk about human capital, it is these days that our educational system is beginning to become a little suspect. But over the period, we had such, that I will say without equivocation, we had the best educated group. And this country of 27 million people, we have virtually everything we need to be what we need to be. We have gold, we have manganese, we have bauxite. Our cocoa is the premium. Premium in the sense that all over the world, when they want to buy cocoa, Ghana's cocoa is the benchmark. So the market decides that we will pay $2,780 for a ton of cocoa, Ghana cocoa. Then they will benchmark. So we will pay $2,600 for the Ecuadorian cocoa, $2,300 for the Ivorian cocoa. Cocoa is a benchmark. And God has blessed us. Lately, He has blessed us with oil. So, if you look at the human capital and the natural resources, this country ought not to be poor. We are here, we are today because of poor leadership. No. And I will go back to what Akufo Addo said.
Okay.
What did he say that is not true? Read it. We are sitting here 10 minutes ago talking about a sense of despondency that has come over this whole country. We are talking, nobody feels like a Ghanaian now.
No, that's different.
Everybody.
Isn't that pushing it?
No, that's different.
Isn't that pushing it?
Despondency.
No.
Yes, despondency.
What is it? Read what he said. Read it to a hearing again.
No, I've seen the evidence in widespread despondency.
No. Yes.
I mean, like,
you are talking about patriotism.
It cannot be a
you are talking about patriotism, and what we are talking about.
Are we saying
about patriotism?
Are we saying that the cost of living is not?
But is it peculiar to Ghana alone?
Oh, really?
Go to London today. No, please. We're having a conversation. Sometimes have a conversation. Look. Let me tell you something.
Yes, tell me.
Some few years back.
Tell me.
I'm coming.
Yes.
Some few years back.
Yes.
In the UK.
Yes.
Right. If you take a minicab.
Yeah.
From Heathrow Airport.
Yes.
To a place like Mitcham.
Yes.
So
yes.
I hope you know where Mitcham is.
Yes.
It will cost you about £20.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
If you take a taxi.
Yes.
From Heathrow Airport.
Yes.
To Mitcham.
Don't
go to
talk about
£100.
I'm talking about taxi. Talk about the bus pass. The bus pass has gone up. Yeah. So, but real incomes have also gone up.
Please.
But real incomes have also gone up.
At what percentage?
Is it the...
At what
no, but
percentage?
Mr. Jaco.
Please.
But you see?
Yes, Mr. Jaco.
But you see? I think it is such a fallacy to compare here to England.
You are doing comparison.
I am saying that the life of the Ghanaian is becoming impoverished day by day.
No, but Mr. Jaco, just a quick one. I think the president of the European Council made a statement about, actually to migrants, economic migrants.
Don't come.
Don't come, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't come. Because there's general hardship everywhere.
Yeah, but you see, recently when the Italian Prime Minister came here, he said, improve your economy so your people will stay here. The onus is not on them. The onus is on us. Okay. If you are elected, you are selected, you are elected, you go to beg the Ghanaians to make you the president. And in 4 years, every economic index is going wrong. Do you blame the European? Look, you are talking about...
But the economy is also vulnerable to external shocks, right?
What is the shock? What is the shock? Tell me.
Can I come in?
Every day we are talking about
right.
What is the price of cocoa? What is the price of cocoa then? What was the price of cocoa then? And what is the price of cocoa today? it is gold, I agree. But are you saying that one commodity goes away, so you are in crisis? This country didn't used to have oil. It was managed by the MPP absolutely well.
Okay,
that
right.
even
But
in the age, in a time when there was crisis, this economy grew by 8. Today we have oil, we are growing at less than 4%.
You see, what the mistake we make is that, look, over the years, we have had donor support. So many grants here and there. This economy has been run on those things. Right? So please.
It's not true.
Oh, please. You are in parliament.
It's not true.
You know that this country.
Are you saying our budget is not supported by donors?
I am saying that it is wrong to say that it is the major part of the budget. No.
I just wanted that correction. Mr. Addo, go ahead.
Let's say 40-45% of our
it's
economy.
Not true.
Oh, please.
It's not true. Mr. Coker, states, I will agree with you if you state that we used to receive donor support. But don't put it at 40 or 45%.
When we announce the budget, what do we say? Go and read all the budget statements over the
I know
year.
Even the oil, you pegged it, I think, $50.
Exactly. And now it's about what, 30. So the shakes and the tsunami.
We are a net oil importer. So the situation today even favors us. If you are an exporter, like Nigeria, then if the price drops, you have a problem. If you take a balance, we are a net oil importer. So what is happening today in the world must be favorable to us.
Mr. Addo Kirsten, you have your moment. Go ahead, please.
You see, in the eyes of his party, there's crisis. In the eyes of my party, because we have done a lot of fundamental movement within the economic system that there's now a semblance of gradual takeoff, right? And our economy has been subjected to all the vagrancies of all the other countries. I mean, we don't live in isolation. So when you are talking like that, as if we are an oil importing nation, whatever, exporting nation, and then whatever you are. How much oil? When Iran is doing 3 million barrels a day, and you are doing 110,000 barrels a day, then you say you are oil what?
I said we are an importer. I said we are a net importer. I'm not
you are nowhere.
Are they listening to me? I think you are not even listening to me.
I'm listening to you.
I think you are not even listening to me.
Mr. Jaco.
Today is holiday.
You had your moment. Today
is holiday.
Mr. Addo,
I'll just give an example. Iran is doing 3 million barrels a day, and you're 110. You are not Professor Mills. Ship is coming to help you to go to about another 200 or 300, and you are saying you are what? No, we are still where we are.
Okay.
Until there's a paradigm shift, and I keep saying that until we stop doing those unnecessary imports that we do, those second-hand things that we import in this country, that we should start growing.
But it will take political.
Exactly, I agree with you. That is why when I saw that,
if government has a policy, for instance, if government says that we're going to cut, for instance, rice imports by 50%, government must stick to it, regardless of what the challenges may be, regardless of whether people rise against it.
I agree.
Government must stick to that and say ultimately it's for the benefit of the country and not for a few importers of rice.
I agree perfectly with that. Is why when I saw the people at Abuso can going on strike, I said they should have closed their shop for 1 year. And then we'll then start looking inward. We will start looking inward. But rather, what are we doing? Because of political season, we have started begging them. We started begging them. We must take some hard decisions to position this country in the next 10, 15 years. We should start trying to ensure that little things that we can do ourselves. Like I say, we are blessed with the human resources. We are blessed with the natural resources. We are. Are we adding value to this thing? I agree with you that whatever I say, whether NDC, MPP, or whatever has been in power for so many years. But then it's us, we too, our attitudes also matter. Our attitude also matter. You understand? If our attitude is that we are always going to depend on imported rice, Uncle Ben's rice, that has gone on our lips and our tongues, and that we are not going to ensure that we are all going to troop to buy grown rice grown here. We will not get to where we are. You can bring all the policies, but the Ghanaian, the players, they also matter. So we cannot be, for political expediency, be thrown out. This country is not in crisis. This country is not dying. This country is growing at a very fast pace because yes, it is growing very fast pace, very fast. You wouldn't want to see it because it suits your purposes to come and sit down and say things that we think the people will buy into it. But the reality on the ground, if you travel outside Accra, the reality on the ground. Okay. You live in East Legon. At least look at the development that has come to East Legon over the years. Are you not part of it?
This is me.
All right, then.
Let me.
Quick one. You have 30 seconds, please.
Oh, 30 seconds.
Yes, please. Thank you.
You see, for Addo to be saying this, I think it's not fair.
I'm not being fair.
I want to say, if you sit on and tell this country is growing at a fast pace,
it is.
Look,
it is not growing.
Government's medium term.
Is it not growing?
Plan. Sure. It's called GSS, the Ghana Shared Growth and whatever. In that document, they had budgeted that this economy was going to grow at between 8 and 9%. Today, this economy is struggling to grow at 4%.
And what do you think?
And
China
China
go 1%. 1%, do you know what it means? You see, when you say, why do you always want to compare yourself with the things you can't compare yourself with? You want to compare yourself to UK. You want to compare yourself to China. China used to grow at 9%. Today, they are 7.5. They are coming down.
It was 6.5, I think, last time.
Between 6.5 and 7. You said you were going to grow. Look, this country, we are aspirational. China, they have gotten there.
Okay.
We are aspirational. Okay. It's a shame that you want to compare yourself to China.
I'm saying that our economy is growing.
It is not growing.
4%.
There was a story.
Agri, you talk about important agri at 0.04%.
Your time
please.
minus 1.
Mr.
It's not true. It's not true.
You say it's not true.
It's not true.
When I give you the figure, you say it's not true.
Okay.
You can
find out. You see,
minus
1.75. I think the best is that sometimes these things you have backroom stuff. Let them find out.
Why they call
is it a lie?
But I just said it's 3.6, 3.7.
Yes.
I just
your time.
No, he's talking about agri. Last year it was minus.
No, it's 0.4. 0.04. Yes, that's it.
But yours was minus.
Okay, Mr. Jacob, just a quick one. We have to move on. The final one for this morning. I mean, we had Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, the president of Kenya. He was.
I hear he was described as the president of Ghana on the official document.
By the way,
no.
Oh no. Now he spoke about a number of things that I mean, partnering Ghana. I think he spoke about security, tourism. I mean, just enhancing relations with Ghana. And for me, one of the things that I think he mentioned was Kenyan Airways, for instance, and it's one of the really nice airlines to take, and it just got me thinking about our own national airline and how even recently during the president, the Terminal 3, when they cut the sword, President mentioned that we could likely be getting a national airline. Let me pick your.
He talked about Kenyan airline. I mean, I think that you need to find out.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes. I said he spoke about Kenyan airline. Kenyan airline is really KLM. Period.
No,
Kenyan airline is to all intents and purposes KLM.
You can't say that.
No, but I'm talking about having a.
Let me help you. We had Ghana Airways. Right? We're offering Ghana Airways. The people who are talking today, who collapsed it? Who collapsed Ghana Airways? Who collapsed it? The
thing was a shell. It was collapsed.
By you. Please, by you. You have now been turned into a hotel, a restaurant.
Oh my goodness.
A restaurant. Look, Ghana Airways could have been salvaged.
Are we in a position to
run
a national airline?
It's imminent. We are bringing it. We are bringing back Ghana Airways. We are a government that makes progress. They came and we progressed. And today they are telling us that there's crisis. Ghana Airways was there. They saw the access to themselves. I mean, it's a fact. If I'm lying, you should tell me. Go to the Ghana Airways building at the airport. Who owns it now?
owns it?
Find out. You will find out.
You find out.
You find out. They
You
shared
find
it.
out.
They shared it among themselves.
You find out.
So Bridget, look, let's be honest with ourselves. Nobody is sitting here to say that Ghana hasn't got any challenges. That is far-fetched. But we are in a situation that we have to pull ourselves together out of this situation. And this situation is never in crisis. If you have the opportunity to go out with my brother, recently I saw him at the airport, he was said he was coming from somewhere. I'm sure when he went there, within 24 hours, he felt like coming back to Ghana. And that is what all of us feel. When you go out, you want to come back to the because this country is going in leaps and bounds.
Okay. Mr. Jaco, quick one.
Quick response.
About the...
you see, for Addo to see that when they were in government, they sold 300 companies.
Yeah?
300 divestiture. When they were, Liman's government had just ordered 10 brand new ships for Black Star Line.
Oh, Black
They
Star Line.
scrapped it. You see, talk about Ghana Airways. Go and find out if he said we collapsed it, me and him. You see, because me and him, when we travel on Ghana Airways, we had 40 kilos. But we will go and take 5 bags. Me and him. It is
okay. So
at the
is
time,
that what needs to change? You know,
at
if
the
we are
time-
going to have a new airline?
at the time, Ghana Airways. You know, it is like they will tell Ghanaians because it's very convenient for them to say that before to Ghana to HIPIC. This country was HIPIC. President Rawlings didn't have the courage and the fortitude to declare it. After all, what was HIPIC? It was the World Bank had determined that if your debt to GDP ratio was a certain percentage, you were a highly indebted poor country. We were there. Ghana Airways was collapsed. It was a shell. And we had the courage to say, no, this is a shell. This is a drain on the national press.
What you brought in, was it not?
One moment, one moment.
This is
I didn't-
draining
I didn't
more.
want- I didn't want-
Ask him a question for
I
me.
didn't want-
What they brought
You
in.
know?
I didn't want to say.
You know, me, for probably the sake of national pride.
Sure. You think that we should...
Maybe for the sake of national pride. But where I come from, my own political philosophy, my own understanding is that I don't believe that it is the business of government to do business. I would rather...
This is actually
like
you know,
Kenya Airways.
public
Like
partnership.
Kenya Airways.
I think say
Let
about
us give it to somebody
Kenyan-
who has the experience,
Sure,
who has the
sure.
know-how, who has the financial muscle
Sure.
to do it.
Exactly.
And call it Ghana Airways. I mean,
So if
I'll be
I think government is
I will
expected
be-
to have some 25%.
I will be happy.
shares.
I will be happy to have Ghana Airways, but not the way it was. It was a collapsed shell.
Okay.
You understand me?
Sure.
Today, I want to emphasize again that for Addo to sit here and say that we are not a nation in crisis, go out there in the streets
It is not.
and interview 100 people. They will tell you that this is a country in crisis.
It is not.
This is a country we cannot pay our electricity bill, we cannot pay our water bill, we cannot pay our children's school fees. We cannot just manage to live. That is the reality that confronts the good people of this country on a daily basis.
I totally.
All right.
This is a
Thank you.
this is-
Thank you very much, Mr.
Look, I
Addo.
have told you that economics is not a fantasy of Ade or Ejako.
Oh, absolutely not.
Economics.
What you are doing, you are fantasizing, my
It
brother.
is matrix.
You are fantasizing.
It is
Mr.
it
Addo,
is
Mr.
it is
Addo,
matrix. The matrices, and they should tell the good people of this country which matrix is right.
Okay.
You see?
I mean, as far as you're concerned, all of them are running
Let me
down.
tell you, the matrices are guidelines.
Sure, absolutely.
They are guidelines. The reality on the ground is what we talk about.
But that's the reality.
And the reality is that Ghanaians are not dying on the street.
Okay.
There is no crisis. This country is functioning. And I'm saying that from now up to 7th November, that is what the mantra you are going to hear from the other side. And we are ready to defend our record because this country is moving on.
But not the record according to the NDC.
No. I just made a statement. He's got something to say. And I've also got something to say. And in my estimation, and in my perception, and what I see, the reality on the ground, when I go out, and I'm saying that, I'm saying that, yes, there are challenges. I've never run away from that. Yes, there are challenges. But the challenges are surmountable if we do the right things.
Okay, all right. Mr. Jacko, if I had to, no, wait, just okay, but Mr. Jacko, for instance, so if you had to point one thing that, say, the government has done in the last year that you think has brought some sort of relief, or that looks positive, what would it be?
I'm finding.
Or should I? Okay, so let me zoom in. In terms of education, nothing.
This government, education.
Sure.
Their flagship. When in the election they said that free secondary school education was 419. It will never happen. Their Minister of Education said it will take 20 years for it to happen. His Excellency the President came back to Parliament after 2 years and said, we will do free SHS.
Progressive.
Progressively.
He said we'll
accessible.
Progressively.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And then he said that they will start with the community day secondary schools.
Yes.
And His Excellency the President said that there will be 200 schools.
Yeah.
Today they are not even talking about 200 schools. They are talking about 123 schools.
Yes.
It is middle of March. All we know of are 4 schools
that have been commissioned.
I am saying that let them put out the list. Okay. Evidence-based, let them put out the list. We are doing it here. It is 67% complete. We are doing it there. It is 87% complete. Okay. You see, but even beyond that, I want to go to the fundamentals. When we were in government, we introduced something called capitation.
Sure.
Capitation. Sure. I will say with authority that in the last 1 year, the capitation grant, which is, I think it was 3 cedis, and as they said, they would increase it to 40, by 50% to 4 cedis, 50 pesos. I am saying probably in the last 18 months, the capitation has not gone. Just on Friday, I needed to take a march past of the schools in my cluster. The schools could not come because there was no money to do this.
Okay. All right then. Quick one.
So I am happy that the people of Bami and Co have a secondary school. I am happy.
Yeah.
I am happy that the people of Otom have a secondary school.
Sure.
I am happy that the people of Nyandua in the eastern region, and then there's a fourth one. I don't remember where it is. It is okay. Every government builds schools.
All right, thank you.
Every government does development. President Mahama, when he was vice president in 2008, said that it was mediocre.
It can never be mediocre.
That is what the president said.
It can never be mediocre.
Okay, quick one, and then we'll go out.
You know,
the studio. What
for
would
me,
you want to leave the Ghanaian public with when it comes to what the government has done in the last year?
I believe that the goodwill of this country have seen what this government is doing. The sense that if even we promise to do 200 schools, and there's evidence that there's 123 at various stages of completion. It means that, and if even 4 has been commissioned, for me, what I like, what interests me, is that little girl who for 2 years sat in the house and will not have the opportunity to have gone to Wesley Girls, Holy Child, Achimota at the size of the boys' school, right? But for the fact that a secondary school has come to her locality, she's been able to go to school and want to be, aspire to be a doctor or a nurse in the future. That singular act, that alone means something to those people in that community, that small enclave. To them, at least this country is moving on.
All right. A very big thank you to Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wagon, Mr. Chemating Ejako. Mr. Chemating Ejako, good morning to you. Thank you very much.
Able to pay capitation.
And also the Greater Accra Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Ade Koka. Thank you very much also for joining us this morning.